Let's go ahead and move on to Elon Musk. As I said, Crystal and I, it's over. The era, let's put it up there on the screen.
Devastating.
We lost the blue checks, people. We did not subscribe to Twitter Blue. Don't have any intention currently.
I'm not looking for extra ways of public humiliation.
Yes.
I have quite enough of those in my life already.
Yeah, you know, outside of the public humiliation, which I do actually agree. I said this on the Red Scare podcast. I'm sorry, I can't explain why. I just personally do think it is cringe. But what are the benefits? Like, what are the actual benefits? We're talking about tweet amplification. We're talking about supposedly better services like longer tweets. First of all, I should barely tweet as it is. I don't know why I would need longer tweets. Third, longer video. Now, I think for some content creators, that probably is something that you would want. But at the very least, you know, for breaking points and all of this, the only reason that either of us would subscribe to this if it was going to help our business. We have never seen any conversion in terms of our paid or even our public YouTube channels. Honestly, all Twitter is really good for is like publishing an announcement and then taking a screenshot of it and posting it on Instagram where people actually are and seem to engage with our content, Crystal. I'm just explaining on a personal level. People were like, oh, why didn't you guys subscribe? You guys have a paid business model. Yeah, I mean, whenever we ask people to help us out for our paid subscription, we offer you a service, you know, we're giving you some benefit, but also really what it's about is like, do you support our work? And, you know, look, I support free speech, all of that, but I'm not going to lie to you. I do not really have a lot of confidence in the way that Twitter is being run right now just because of the sheer amount of chaos. Like, this is not really a mission that I personally want to buy into. Let's put the next one up there on the screen to just really show you exactly why. At the very same time that Elon was like, okay, well, I'm rolling out Twitter Blue, only people will have blue checks who pay for them. Well, all of a sudden, accounts like LeBron James, Stephen King remained having blue checks, and people started asking questions. They're like, well, why is that? And Elon came out and said, oh, well, I came out and I personally paid for their subscription. And yet, we have now had hundreds of accounts that have over 1 million followers who it says in their check mark that they had subscribed to Twitter Blue and had verified their phone number.
Yeah.
And they're like, I didn't pay for this. And it appears that many accounts with over 1 million followers had their blue checks reinstated for no discernible reason. Maybe it was meant as a troll to make it look like they had paid for Twitter Blue, but more likely through some digging of our team and others. You know, here's an example, like somebody like Monica Lewinsky put it up there on the screen about how she also has her blue check, and it actually is a tear sheet that she referenced. Elon is gifting blue check to celebrities who, quote, don't even want one. They list several others, but there's no evidence that he's actually personally like eating the cost or personally paying for all of these other accounts that remain and have their blue check with over 1 million followers. It appears, again, appears that one of the reasons why it put this up there on the screen is because, quote unquote, block the blue was trending on Twitter. Now, one of the reasons why you may want to make sure that accounts with over 1 million followers or so remain and have a blue check or are not blocked in order to try and reduce the amount of people who are doing the blocking is because those people with 1 million followers produce some of the most viral tweets and some of the most viral engaged content on the platform, which is what keeps you there, hence why they have 1 million followers in the first place.
Yeah.
Well, what they point to is that by giving like former legacy checkmark holders who have over 1 million followers their blue check, it kind of disrupts the quote-unquote block the blue movement because you wouldn't want to block somebody who is somebody who you engage with quite a bit. But they also show, Crystal, that it appears with the whole block the blue thing that it would have, in a normal circumstance, it should have been trending. In terms of the overall trending number of topics. It would have been number 3, but it seems that Twitter artificially nuked that from their trending algorithm. So there's a lot of chaos going on. And, you know, like, why would I pay for a product when you're also giving it away for free to other people? Now I have a new tab. Here's a fun one in my Twitter account that I was looking at. Verified organizations. So let's say we wanted a BP account and we wanted to verify it. They want to charge us $1,000 a month And for every additional affiliate account is $50. So $1,000 a month for me, you, and the rest of the team.
We will not be wasting your money on.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, look, at the end of the day, this is not our money. This is your hard-earned money that you guys happen to help us out with our show. You believe in our mission. We're not going to be throwing this around like willy-nilly when we got cameras, sets, and lights to build. Sure, it may not be that much, but at this point, it's about the principle of it. You don't pay for a service unless the service is useful.
Absolutely.
You know? Yeah.
He managed to listen. If you're trying to sell a product, how do you want to position it? You want to make it like cool. You want it something people want to associate themselves with. You want it to be a brand that they want to post about, that they want to like associate their own personal, being and their own little personal brand building exercise with. Elon has made the Twitter Blue thing truly, unless you're just like a total Elon stan, he really has made it a mark of shame. So not only were people not paying for Twitter Blue, people were like offloading Twitter Blue because they didn't want to be harassed and bullied for having it on his own platform. And it was not inevitable that it would go that way, but because the decision-making has been so erratic, and because, the benefits you get for it are certainly not worth it, and because it's not like the previous verification regime was flawed in a million.
Yeah, I'm not saying it was fair or cool. Like, I thought it was bad.
It did mean it was useful in a sense because you did actually know for some small subset that like this really is this person.
That's right.
This really is this organization. Now it's completely meaningless except as a badge that you are so desperate for clout you're willing to pay for it. That's all that this indicates now. And that's why that's like the core of why it's so embarrassing, because you are advertising to the world like, I am so desperate for people to retweet me or like my tweets or like pay attention to what I have to say that I'm willing to pay this person in order to make that happen. So then you add on top of that, why do I think that he is giving out these check marks to big accounts, whatever? Some of it is because he is trying to mitigate the sense of shame that comes with having the blue check mark at this point. So if you've got LeBron James, you got these, these big accounts that have the blue check mark, then maybe he's hoping it will make it a little bit more socially acceptable because like the big cool guys have it, so I guess it's okay for other people to have it as well. But then in other instances, and I have to go Chrissy Teigen, who I don't necessarily give a lot of credit to often, but she made a great point. He's giving them out as punishment, which tells you exactly how most people feel about the blue check mark. So people like Matt Binder, who's been reporting on all of this stuff, who I think he has like 100-some thousand Twitter followers, he was given a blue check mark because he's been very adversarial towards Elon, and he was basically given a blue check mark that he is unable to take off of his account as a sort of punishment. So imagine what that says about the product that you are selling, that not only do people not want to buy it, like they would go to great lengths to avoid having it, and you're dishing it out yourself as a mark of shame.
It's also not necessarily any evidence that it's working. Let's go ahead, guys, throw up D7, please. This is an important tweet. I mean, what we can see here is that for the day, before the purge, 19,469 of legacy verified accounts had Twitter Blue. The day after that blue accounts were taken off, only 28 increase on a net level of 19,497 had joined. Now, this was just simply based on API by looking at it from an independent analysis. We don't have the current version, but that was the first update the day after the overall purge of people like Crystal and I's account. And look, I want to say this. It's tough because do I exist as a Elon, Tesla, SpaceX fan outside of Twitter? Like, do we exist? People who are like, I support Tesla. I think it's a cool company. I think SpaceX is a cool company. The Starship thing launch undeniably was awesome. But you can put those aside, but then also be like, what's happening here with Twitter is a disaster. If we will all recall, here's what I'm begging Elon to do. Abide by the poll results that we all voted in where we said we did not want you to be the CEO of Twitter.
Yeah.
I was like, please leave. Go back to the companies that you're actually good at running. Yeah. Why did you do this?
Well,
why are you doing this?
I think the fact that you feel the way
Yeah.
you do about,
Yeah.
listen, I'm not
Right.
an Elon fan and haven't been, right? But the fact that you would have been open to this,
sure.
if you saw
Yeah.
some benefit to it, like there was another universe where this thing was run differently. Frankly, there was another universe where if he had truly stuck to like, this is going to be a public town square and this is going to be run not by market principles, but by free speech principles. And I'm going to stick to my guns the way like Substack has been run in a way that I really admire and appreciate. There was another world where he persuaded me and overcame my doubts about his potential leadership of this company. We do not live in that world. I think that has become very clear. And that number, that there were only a net 28, not 2,800, not 28,000, 28 additional Twitter Blue subscribers among legacy verified accounts. I mean, that tells you everything, too, from a business perspective. This is just a disaster. And, you know, I use Twitter less and less, not because I'm trying to make some, like, principled stand and I'm going to Mastodon or whatever. I just find it sort of moribund. I find it sort of dead. I find it sort of sad. There's way too many freaking ads in my timeline these days. And I just don't find it as useful and vital as I used to.
Yeah, I will say I hate my For You page. I think it's awful. I keep trying to default to my follower page. I follow people for a reason. I do not want to learn how to get into real estate investing. I'm sorry. I just, you know, I've been listening to, Crystal, you know this, I've been on a big Dave Ramsey kick. I've listened to like 30 hours of Dave Ramsey. I'm sorry, people. As he says, the tic-tac generation will not teach you how to win in real estate. So yeah, I don't really know what's going on. My For You page is awful. And you know, I think it's a good point. I actually pay for a ton of Substacks and Patreons. I was going through my subscriptions. I'm talking about like hundreds of dollars a year, which is probably not a wise decision. But a lot of them are people like Taibbi and Glenn Greenwald or even Brianna, Joy Gray, the Red Scare I pay these people because I support their work. I like them. I support their mission. I don't even agree with some of the people that I pay for. I just think that they're doing cool stuff, and just like we have this type of business, I try to do people like Ethan Strauss, House of Strauss over Sports Substack. I don't even like sports, but I like the guy, so I'm like, okay, you know, I'll go pay. Now, part of the reason why I do that, again, is because it's mission-based. Now, here with the Twitter, like, yeah, look, I support free speech, but you got to actually do it, you know, on a practical level. I didn't agree with the Kanye ban. I don't agree with the capriciousness. I didn't agree with those initial suspension of those journalists. I think so much of what's happened is chaos. Even the removal of the check mark is chaos because now the million, it's like, now you're devaluing my product. I pay for this, but if all I had to do was get 600,000 more followers and, you know, I could do that, like, oh, why wouldn't I just do that? You know, so it's one of those where, obviously, that's out of reach for somebody who's got 2,000 followers, but you know, you and I combined have about 1 million followers. If we engage more, we don't even tweet that much. If we wanted to, we probably could. So it's one of those where, anyway, I think you put it all together, and I don't see a compelling narrative or a case for really paying for this.
Even okay, you can post longer videos. Like, why would I do that when I'm going to pay you to post a long video when we post a long video on YouTube? Guess what? There's monetization because they actually value the creators. You know, I got issues with YouTube
we have our issues with YouTube.
We made clear. But they actually understand that the creators on the platform are what gives the thing lifeblood. Whereas Elon has just made himself totally antagonistic, even to some people like Matt Taibbi, who were, you know, supportive and open.
Pissed me off.
And so it's like, okay, if you're gonna just be an asshole to all the people who actually make Twitter an interesting place to be, then, you know, obviously your product is gonna be somewhat less useful here because, as you said, Sagar, what we've really realized in running this business is, we make sure, you know, we do an AMA for the premium subscribers. We're going to give them first look at the new set because we value you. But
full show, etc.
Full show, all those things. I know those things are important, but what a lot of people come here for is because they believe in the
they just believe it.
That's it.
Yeah.
And not a lot of people believe in the Twitter mission at this point, I would say.
Well, good luck. You know, maybe you can turn it around. We'll see.
Okay. Hey guys, ready or not, 2024 is fully upon us now, and Sagar and I have been brainstorming ways that we can really up our game for this critical election.
Yeah, we rely on our premium subs to expand our coverage, to add staff, to upgrade the studio. We just want to give you the best independent coverage of this election, which is possible. So if you can help us out, become a premium subscriber today, breakingpoints.com, or the link is down here in the description video. It really means the world to us, and if you like what we're all about, this is the best possible way to keep us 100% independent, working only for you.